Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello students, welcome to Swayam Prabha. The course title is Principles of Marketing and the lecture title is Marketing Environment. This is Module 3, Lecture 2. I am Dr. Shoma Sengupta, Associate Professor Commerce, Kamla Nehru College, University of Delhi. In this lecture, we will cover the following topics: the macro environmental factors, demographic, economic, natural, technological, political, legal, socio-cultural, international. Macro environment. Now, these are the broader environmental forces which affect all the firms in an economy or of a country, of a place. So, these are called macro environmental forces. Macro environment of marketing consists of those forces that are external to the firm's activities and do not concern the immediate environment of the firm. These forces are uncontrollable. Management of a firm have no influence over them. Indirectly, they affect the firm's ability to market its product effectively. So the impact is generally indirect. They affect all the firms in an economy of a country or the world economy. The main macro forces are demographic, economic, socio-cultural, political, legal, technological, physical or natural, and international. Let's begin with demographic forces. Demography is the study of the human population in terms of their size and density, location, gender, age, race, literacy, occupation, etc. The study of demography helps marketers in market segmentation and selecting target markets. Suppose you don't have that much fund to go for mass marketing, or the product is not meant for mass market. So what you can do with your limited funds, you can find out, first of all, study the market in terms of demography, identify the segment which you can best serve, and that will form your target market. It may be on the basis of gender. It may, like, you want to serve only the women or girls, or the product is meant for those only, or it may be age based, or it may be culture based. So any type of combination, or income based, you have selected a particular target. So in market segmentation, this is of great help, the demographic factors, in understanding the needs, habits, and behavior of people in the targeted segment. In designing marketing strategies or marketing mix accordingly. Suppose you are creating a product which is meant for women, urban women, then whatever magazines or programs they see, they watch, you can advertise in those magazines and during the telecast of those programs only. So according to the needs, and accordingly you have to decide about the pricing of the product also, distribution of the product also. So in designing the marketing mix as well as marketing strategies, you will keep in mind the needs of a particular target segment. In understanding the changes in the demographic profile and the resulted changes in the needs and styles, you know that over the years there is a change in the demographic profile. Like if you think about the urban customers, there is a rise in general income or per capita income of the urbans if we compare what it was 20 years back, and the desires accordingly they have changed. People are going for branded products, so accordingly, and need, the style, everything is changing. So accordingly you can design your marketing strategy. The major demographic factors creating challenges and opportunities are growth rate of population or segment, improvement of life expectancy rate. Now, we can take an example of improvement in life expectancy rate. As the life expectancy is improving, then there are more number of old age population in any society. In India also this segment is increasing in size, and now the travel agents, they are cashing on in that, and their new target market is also these old age people who have lots of spare time as well as spare money, and that's why they are selling certain schemes, travel schemes, to these type of customers. Likewise, products meant for these kind of people, maybe body oil. Even Johnson and Johnson, they shifted their emphasis from focus from baby products to catering to old age people, because in American society they have found that more number of aged people are there in comparison to the babies. So the new line of products they are introducing is the products which are meant for old age people. Growing middle class is another factor which have to be monitored by the marketers. Changing pattern of demand of rural customers. So in India there is a huge potential of rural marketing or hinterland marketing. These people, although individually they may not have that kind of purchasing power, but cumulatively there is a huge demand for many types of product, and especially branded consumer non-durables also, or consumables also. So rather than selling a big pack of shampoo, you can sell small sachets of shampoo, because these rural customers individually they have maybe having lower purchasing power, so they can spend easily 1 or 2 rupee on buying a pack of branded shampoo, and they can use it. Likewise, this is happening for biscuits also. Small packs of biscuits, so 1 rupee biscuit with 2 or 4 biscuits are there, and that is sold in rural market. So in rural market you have to take different type of packaging decisions, or the elements of marketing mix. You have to introduce certain changes in that. Increasing brand consciousness is there among people. Growing class of dual income families are there, nuclear families, UPs, young urban professionals, and changing demand patterns. Because of that, the people, they are stuffing their refrigerator with products they buy once in a week rather than going daily to the shops, and most of the time they are going for online shopping. So these changes are happening in the society, and the marketer has to monitor that. Likewise, growing role of women in purchase decision making. So it's not that if you are selling financial products you have to just focus on male customers. Even the females are making huge investments, so they are another category of customers, and they have different requirements. The marketer of financial products, they have to focus on that also, because now women are also equal decision maker, or they may be individually also decision makers for many different new types of products. Then the next is economic forces. Economic environment comprises of country's economic system, like capitalist economy, socialist or communist economy, mixed economy. So this will be one decision factor. What type of country's economic system is there, accordingly it will have an impact on marketers' decisions. Structural anatomy of the economy, like the composition of national output, occupational distribution, capital formulation or formation, trade composition, highlights the structural balance or imbalance between different sectors. So this will have impact on marketers, what to market, what type of product, which type of strata to cater to. This will be decided by structural anatomy of the economy. Nature of factor endowment, like land, capital, labor, entrepreneurial talent, whether they are available and at what cost they are available. This will have impact on decisions regarding production of products. Economic policies and role of planning is another major factor which have an impact on working of different firms, like the industrial policy, fiscal policy, monetary policy, export import policy. This will decide how much capital can be mobbed up by the companies, or what type of products they should manufacture, what kind of benefits, subsidies they can get, what type of loans they can get. So that will have an impact on every type of firms working in an economy. Markets, capital market, labor market, factor market, their conditions, this will have an impact on the marketer's decision, which type of market they are catering to and what is the condition in that market. So these are the economic forces. Economic forces influence marketing. directly as well as indirectly. Directly, these forces affect the cost and the price of the products and services. Indirectly, economic forces affect the purchasing power of the people. For example, money supply, interest rate, price level, consumer credit, all this will have an impact on their purchasing power. Factors that affect consumer buying power and spending patterns are wage inflation and price inflation, gross domestic product, per capita income, direct and indirect taxes, exchange rates, export quota controls, employment conditions. Social and cultural forces. This determines the value system and norms of the society, which affects the marketing of the products. It also determines the code of conduct the business should follow. Also determines the types of products and services demanded. So in a particular society, certain products are not matching with the norms of the society. Those products should not be introduced in such market, or they should not be advertised in a particular manner. So which may have an impact on the sentiments of the customers over there. So these social and cultural factors should be taken care of. Social pressures and legal system also have an impact on marketing practices. Concept of social responsibility is becoming very popular, and the firms are also spending a lot on corporate social responsibility and showing that in their annual reports as well, and hence more are the expectations from the companies or marketers. Marketing is criticized as it fails to fulfill social responsibility. Like certain problems, the companies are neither they are interested in or they are not taking any concrete action to remove these problems of the society, like eradication of poverty, exploitation of consumers, degradation of environment, and wastage of resources due to overconsumption, overemphasis on profit maximization. So specifically, socio-cultural factors influencing marketing decisions are caste, customs, even religion and conventions, social values and beliefs, occupational structure, family structure like joint versus nucleus family, women in workforce, population shift, mobility of labor from rural to urban areas, educational system and literacy rates, changing consumption habits, lifestyle, education, increase in knowledge and scientific progress. So there are many examples where the social and cultural forces they impacted the marketing of certain products or certain companies. Like when Kentucky Fried Chicken (KFC) tried to enter the Indian market, it faced several protest march, and also political parties they protested against KFC. Although there is a sizable population in India which are non-vegetarian, but nevertheless, if the sentiments of people is affected, then naturally they may go against you. Likewise, in India, you cannot sell freely products like beef and pork, and there are specific conditions under which they can be sold, and especially beef, it is with the changing attitude of people and the governmental policies, now it is not allowed to be sold in the market. So these are the things one has to keep track of while doing business. This is only one country. You think about when you are going in international market, you have to think about the social and cultural forces that are operating in each and every region, every area, or every country that may be very different from your country, and these cultural factors are very difficult to understand if you are part of that particular culture that is imbibed in you automatically. But if you are not part of that culture, to understand that culture becomes difficult task for any marketer. But nevertheless, they have to take care of these forces, otherwise they cannot do business in that area. Next macro factor is political and legal forces. Now the politico-legal environment, this embraces the government with its political trends and ideology, the legal framework within which the business is to function. These forces pose a major challenge for the marketer. The validity of business depends upon the ability with which they meet these challenges. Like if you, for this is a famous example of 1970s, the late 1970s, when Janta government was in power, and there was discontinuance of Coca-Cola, and actually thereafter there was a tilt towards Swadeshi even during the first phase of the BJP government that was there. But now they have realized that you cannot do away with the international market or international companies or multinational companies, and now they are allowed to do business in India with certain restrictions. So the government can take a major decision, and the philosophy of the ruling party, or whatever plan or agenda they have, that has an impact on the working of any company. The components of politico-legal environment are political organization and political stability. Now, if in a particular area there is instability, then naturally businesses cannot thrive in that area. You know that those areas where there is terrorism and insurgency, or there is a cold war like of civil war like of situation in many countries, there of course businesses cannot run properly. Constitutional framework like directive principles, fundamental rights, division of legislative power between center and state, that also have an impact. And one while doing business in a particular country, they have to know about that. The extent and nature of government intervention, commercial and economic law, government policies, which we have discussed earlier, also industrial policy, essential commodities, maintenance act is there, exim or export import policy, monetary and fiscal policies, environmental pollution control policy, and there are several other areas which have to be taken care of. Any of them may have an impact on the working of your firm. So these are the political and legal forces. The other political and legal forces is that it determines the public policy which may enhance and restrict the marketing opportunities. Three major legislative philosophies that are prevalent in India are: one is to prevent monopoly and protect competition. This was there from the very beginning after independence, when we realized that the 80% of the resources or 80% of the companies are in the hands of 20% of people. Then they thought about restricting this type of practices and preventing monopolistic practices. So there was an act, Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act. This was repealed, and now there is a Competition Act in its place. There is the Industries Development and Regulation Act was there. To protect individual consumers, we have Consumer Protection Act. Also, there are several other plethora of acts are there to protect the consumers, like Medical Remedies and Prevention Act, Cigarettes Act, and so on. To protect the society at large, acts restricting say environmental pollution, soil pollution, air pollution. For different areas there is an act. Labor laws are there, like Equal Opportunity, Equal Remuneration Act, Payment of Wages Act, Factories Act, Mines Act, Plantation Act. So several laws, labor laws are there. Laws relating to governance and disclosures are also there. So all these forces, all these legal forces have an impact on the working of an organization. Now the ruling political party also comes out with different legislation, and which is passed in the parliament and both the houses and vetoed by the president, and finally it becomes a law. So any company which is working in a particular country, they have to abide by the law of the land, and also keep track of the philosophy of the leading political party or the ruling party, and accordingly they can work in a country. Then comes the technological forces. Now you know that the technology is changing every now and then, and old technology is becoming obsolete within a few years or sometimes within a few months, and accordingly there is changes happening in the market. So technological environment refers to the state of technology in the areas of manufacturing, mining, construction, material handling, transportation, information technology, or any other area where some changes are happening, technological changes are taking place. Technological development determines the type and quality of products and services to be produced, the nature of plant and equipment to be used. Advances in technology are uncontrollable environmental factor. They are unpredictable. Adoption is prevented by constraints imposed by internal and external resource constraints. Poses opportunity as well as threat. Easy way to gain differential advantage. So because the products may be the same but with certain differences in the characteristic, and you can charge more for that particular feature. So that is the advantage. And also you can have a unique selling proposition. You can differentiate your product from that of competitors' product just because of some technological changes. This causes environmental pollution also, or it may curtail it also. So that can be again an opportunity, and it can be a threat also. Hence, marketing management should take care of changing technological environment, and whatever changes that are taking place in the environment, they should keep track of that. Use these new technologies to serve the customer's needs, find out how they can use that technology to serve the customers well, work out with the research and development wing of the organization and encourage them for market oriented research. Carefully watch the trends, like the accelerating pace of the technological changes, because you have to keep track of that, and you have to make changes in your products so as to so that your technology should not become obsolete. Unlimited innovational opportunities are there. You look for that, how to use it beneficially. Higher research and development budgets are needed by different companies, so you have to also increase your budget. Concentration on minor improvements rather than major innovation, but you have to see to it that competitors are not easily copying your strategy. So these are the decisions which have to be taken by the marketing people with regard to the technological forces in the environment. The next macro factor is physical or natural forces. We know that nature offers resources, all the raw materials required to manufacture the products. But these resources are offered by nature in a limited manner. Most of the resources are not unlimited. They are exhaustible. Now, this suggests that companies must find the best combination of production for the sake of efficient utilization of the available resources. We are also talking about sustainable development, so that these resources which we are taking from the nature, they should remain in future also for our future generations. Environmental concerns are important to businesses both in the short and the long run. Environmentalism has gained momentum nowadays, and this suggests on the part of the company to take certain voluntary measures so that all their working is green and environmental friendly. Also, there are different environmental laws that have come up, and we all organizations, they have to adhere to these environmental laws. So it may be compulsory action or a voluntary action. Marketing managers are expected to control the environmental consequences of the product, its packaging and production processes. Nowadays, green marketing is gaining importance, and in that we are concerned with of the environment, right from the production of the product to the disposal of the packages also. So everything should be green and environment friendly with minimum detrimental effect on the environment. Also, the companies should follow the environmental criteria in deciding the type of raw material and ingredients they are using, so that they are all biodegradable. Raise the prices of the product to cover environmental cost, but then it doesn't remain competitive. But your action will be environment friendly, and those customers who believe in that, and sooner or later everybody will have to go for those environmental friendly products. Respond to the issues raised by environmentalists, because if you do not do that, then they may go against you, and again your product may lose its goodwill, your company may lose its goodwill. So it is always better that you take care of these physical and natural resources, so that the companies can live in or survive in the long run, and also it will promote sustainable development. The future of future generation will also reap in the benefit of this environment. So these are physical and natural forces. Finally, the last macro environmental factor is international forces. Now, whatever is happening in other countries, who may be your supplier, or your from where you are importing things, or where you are exporting things, or even there, if there is a recessionary condition in that country, it will have an impact on your country as well as your business. So the international forces which affect businesses are changes in the government in other countries and the ruling party's philosophy again, changes in laws in other countries like legislation, tariffs, sanctions, relation with other countries, how you are, whether there is a cordial relation with the other country, or you are becoming an enemy country, like the recent case of Chinese invasion in Indian territories, and constant fight between India and Pakistan in the borders, in the with China also, and its impact on the businesses, as the government has declared that many of the Chinese apps are banned in India, or any of the products, the imports are curbed from China. So that has an impact on businesses. Likewise, demographic changes that are happening in other countries, it will have an impact on your business also. Changes in the internal peace of that country. Take the example of many of the countries where the situation has changed, like in Egypt, the situation has changed, the in Syria, Libya, and all other countries, and that has an impact on businesses which are operating, or which has a relation with businesses in those countries. Economic conditions of other economies and its impact on the home country is always there. If there are recessionary conditions in certain countries, inflationary situation in certain countries, it will have an impact on your home businesses as well. Beside that, wars and conflicts always have an impact on businesses. So how the relationship, what kind of relationship you are maintaining with other countries, will also have an impact on your country, your economy. Then the question is how to deal with these changes that are taking place in the environment. So strategies to deal with the marketing environment. The first can be anticipating and adapting. It is very obvious strategy. Marketer, they anticipate environmental changes and adapt appropriately. Buffering and smoothing is another way. Buffering is creating supplies of sufficient inputs and outputs to meet the unpredictable needs. And smoothing is reducing the normal fluctuations by changing the prices, by charging differential prices and all, so that there is smoothing of demand. Domain shift can also take place, like firm enters into a new market with existing expertise. If this old one is not doing well, technological upgradation one can go for. Innovation and new technology, these are constant things, and constantly organizations are indulging in innovation and new technology. Mergers and acquisition is another solution, like competing firms, they join hands together to gain competitive strength. But again, you have to take care of different laws operating in different countries, which are which can see these mergers as a way to dupe the customers, or killing the competition in that country. Like in India, we have competition act also. Then competitive advertising you can indulge in, like comparing the firm's product with that of competitors products, and prove that how the firm's products are better than the competitor. But of course, again, you have to take care of the laws of the land, whether such advertisements are permitted or not, or to what extent. So these are the strategies to deal with marketing environment, but you can develop many more strategies for newer situations. To summarize this lecture, we can say that the macro environment of marketing consists of those forces that are external to the firm's activities. Demographic forces include impact of age, gender, income, occupation, and everything on marketing of products. Economic forces include the economic system, condition, and economic policy of a country. Social and cultural forces determines the value system and norms of the society, which affects the marketing of products. Political and legal forces consist of philosophy of the ruling parties and the laws of a country. Technological forces are the fast changing technology and its impact on businesses. Physical and natural forces are the availability of the resources on the one hand and their maintenance for future generation. International forces are the changes in the situation and policies in other countries with whom you are entering into deals and its impact on the home businesses. Strategies to deal with the marketing environment are anticipating and adapting, buffering and smoothing, domain shift, technological upgradation, mergers and acquisitions, and competitive advertising. Thank you very much, students. So this was Marketing Environment, Module 3, Lecture 2.